Welcome to the Velvet Visionaires Podcast, where vision meets execution. This podcast is for the visionaries, the builders, the creators, the seers, those who see beyond what is and build what could be. I'm your host, Walter Williams, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. Some people write poetry, others perform spoken word, but every now and then you meet someone whose words don't just entertain, they leave you thinking long after the conversation is over. Our guest today is one of those people. Caudle the poet is a published author, a poet, spoken word artist, and community activist who has dedicated his life to changing people one life at a time. His message isn't built on perfection, it's built on perseverance. Through betrayal, being overlooked, and blazing trails as the first to do what others wouldn't, Caudle has turned pain into purpose and purpose into impact. He believes authenticity is the greatest influence a person can have, and his mission is simple. Be real, speak truth, and inspire transformation wherever he goes. Visionaries, let's give it up for Mr. Caudle the poet.
Welcome. How you doing?
What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? You good?
I'm feeling good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
For sure, man. For sure, brother. For sure. Man, that poetry is a beautiful thing, man. I don't think enough people give love to poetry. It's like a niche. It's a niche thing. But poetry is a big deal, man. You know what I'm saying? Even rappers are poets if you really think about it, right? So
they are. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you think about that? Do you feel like, and just before we get into the topic, what you think about like how rappers are poets, and do you think poetry gets enough respect? Do you feel like it gets enough attention?
No, I don't think that poetry gets enough respect, enough attention. I actually think that the art of poetry, the art of expression through poems, through poetry, is actually a dying art.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're like singers, rappers. I think all those are actually, yes, they are artists, but they're also all poets as well. Right. Because really, most songs are just poetry on paper.
Right.
Set to a beat.
That's right.
So yeah, I respect that, but I think that the art of it, the appreciation for it, has definitely died out.
100% agree. 100% agree. I think I agree with what you're saying, bro. And I think like you think about like the hardest gangster rappers, right?
Right.
Like the hardest gangster rappers. Like everybody loves Jeezy. Everybody thought Jeezy was the number one trap star. He's also a poet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's also a poet, and he has some beautiful lyrics. I ain't gonna hate on Jeezy. He's cold. You know what I'm saying?
He's cold. Yeah. He's a dope artist. I like Jeezy.
For sure. All right, Caudle, let's get into it, man. Where you from, Caudle? Where you from? And let's talk about your origin story.
All right, so I grew up in a small town in South Alabama, Grove Hill, Alabama, Fulton, Alabama, Clark County, Alabama.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sing. So for those who don't know, it's way down south in between Selma and Mobile, Alabama. So
yeah,
that's where I grew up at.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And when you were growing up, did you write poetry when you was growing up?
No, I didn't. I didn't start out writing poetry. I didn't start writing poetry till late middle school, first part of high school.
Got you. Well, did you start out rapping or you started out just writing poetry?
Nah, I'm not a rapper.
Okay.
I'm not a rapper. I just do poetry and spoken word.
Okay.
That's all I do. So I actually started out, funny story, I actually started off, man, because I was scared to talk to girls.
Understood.
So what I would do is I wouldn't even ask them for their phone number. When I finally would get the courage, I would ask them for their address.
Okay, understood.
And I would write a letter. I would write them a letter and mail it to them.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You remember the first letter you mailed to a girl?
I don't remember the exact first letter. I don't remember what I said, but I know it had a small little poem. It was back then like roses are red, violets are blue,
I got you.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the first person that like got the reaction you wanted from her?
Yeah, because I got a number later on.
I heard that. So that poetry worked out then.
It did. It did.
Okay. So you did that, and you did that in Grove Hill. And what brought you to Huntsville and got you doing poetry here in Huntsville?
So I actually got away from it for an extended period of time.
Okay.
But I originally came to Huntsville twice. I moved here the first time, actually just looking for a job because I had a sister here. And so I was like, hey, sis, I need a job.
Yeah.
Can you help me out?
Right, real rap.
Yeah. So I came up here then, and I wasn't doing no type of poetry then. I found a job. I ended up moving to Indiana. Yeah, so I moved there for a little bit doing a job, then I ended up coming back. And so as I got back, about 3 or 4 years after I got back, then I got back into my poetry.
I got you. Do you feel like, oftentimes for myself, like, because I do a little poetry on the side. I did it when I was in high school and I got away from it. I think my poetry came from pain. Do you feel like that happens? Do you feel like poetry comes from that? Or do you feel like it comes from just a strong emotion? Maybe it's joy. Or do you feel like it's connected to something like that?
Well, you got different types of poetry. Poetry artists. So you got those that are literally, once you find your voice, what I mean by that is your niche. Some people just write about social activism. Some people write about this. Some people write about that. So it just all depends on what you are. But for me, I consider myself all around. Okay. I don't really do a whole lot of activist poems as far as like protests and things like that. That's not really my thing. But I have before. Yeah. So, but yeah.
I got you. But do you feel like, do you think it's tied to emotion or not at all?
Some of it is. Some of it is. Yeah, okay. I think it can be tied to emotion, but also it's just inspiration. Yeah. Which again is an emotion. Yeah. Some people, you have to learn how to master certain things depending on what your niche is. But I think ultimately it all comes from emotion. Everything that we do comes from emotions from somewhere, whether it be negative or whether it be positive, good or bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Because you see, when I see a lot of great poets like Maya Angelou, right? If I talk about the commercial poets, I see like they have that inspiration, like what you're talking about, right? I see they have that movement that they have. So I always see that emotion tied to it. So I'm glad you clarified that for us. So yes. So let's talk about this. So what got you so you're doing poetry now, you picked it back up. Was there an impetus that got you to pick it back up? What was the thing that got you to pick poetry back up?
Well, there's a saying that they say once something is meant for you, regardless of how long you run from it, it's gonna always be there. Right. So it's always been there for me because I was always able to articulate myself better on paper than I could audibly. Okay. So what I couldn't say audibly, I would always go back and write it down, because it never would come out the way I wanted it to come out.
Gotcha. I got you.
So then plus too, it was like, for me, it was my way of being free. Okay. It was my way, because growing up the way I grew up, single parent household, just my mom, my sisters, I was like, I didn't really have an out. So poetry became my out.
Gotcha. Talk a little bit about that, bro. Like, what do you mean it came out? Talk about that. Give me a little bit on that.
So, like I just said, growing up, I was not one to be able to express myself audibly like I wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I always go back and write all my emotions down on paper, however I feel, and then it just began to turn into something. Like I used to start off writing a whole bunch of symbols and numbers and stuff, because part of it was me being lazy too, but. I always wanted to be different. I always wanted to stand out. I didn't want to do what I seen others do, like Edgar Allan Poe, who's one of my favorite artists. Langston Hughes, who's definitely my favorite artist, poetry artist for all time. So I love Maya Angelou, so I didn't want to do what they do, but I'm inspired by them by doing what they do. Understood. So when it comes to that, it's just... innately, you just have to know.
Gotcha.
You have to know. Like, 'cause I think we all are poets in some way, right? Shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. But you can also be, I think you can be a poet, but not a spoken word artist. Gotcha. But you can't be a spoken word artist and not be a poet.
That's an interesting difference. That's an interesting distinction. Say that one more time. You said you could be a spoken word artist, but you say that. Run it back again for me.
So I think that you can be a poet, but not a spoken word artist. But you can't be a spoken word artist and not be a poet.
Because you can write. Is it because you can write your poem out, but you don't have to recite it? Is that what you mean, or?
Partially, yes. Okay. So when it comes to doing, my opinion, spoken word, and no disrespect to anybody who sings or raps or anything like that. Yeah. Much respect. Yeah. But to me, doing a spoken word piece, standing up in front of a crowd of people, oftentimes with no background, no nothing, is harder than standing up in front of people and singing a song.
Come on.
Or rapping a song.
Come on.
It's easy to do. I mean, you got auto-tune, you got different things to do. But when it's just you, and that's it, a lot of people get stage fright. A lot of people don't want to stand up in front of other people because they don't know how to handle it. So from that standpoint, doing spoken word it's a talent, it's a skill that it takes. You can write something down. You can have some cold pieces that you can write down because anybody can write. Anybody can write. Everybody can speak.
Right.
So that's why I say you can be a poet and not be a spoken word artist, but you can't be a spoken word artist and not be a poet. So you're going to do both. Because in order for you to be a spoken word artist, and you recite what you wrote.
Understood. That's a heavy distinction. I'm glad you said that. Because, man, I don't know. You remember what was it? Def Poetry Jam? You remember that?
Yeah.
I used to watch that show back in the Gap, and I really enjoyed it because, like I told you, I enjoy poetry. But, like, seeing people come on stage and they recite a poem that they wrote and they invoke that emotion. They invoke that I don't know what you call it. They inspire that momentum or inspire movement in a person. They doing that, like you said, with no background, no music, no somebody. Hey, here come this person. Y'all stand on your feet and clap it up, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't happen. This man is coming out, or this woman is coming out with no background, coming on stage and finna give you everything they got. And if it hits right, you're going to evoke that emotion from it, whether it's tears, whether it's joy, whether it's whatever the case may be. But
exactly,
I respect that. I like that. Right.
Yeah. So it's like I said, and everybody can't do it. So there's no disrespect to them, but I mean, because you also got to know, and you learn these things as you go. You learn your audiences. Yeah. You learn who's for you, who's not. You learn, okay, kind of like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Everything is not going to land. Everything is not going to hit. Yeah. But that does hit.
Yeah.
You got to stay on that, harp on that, and then know when to get off of it. You can't stay on it too long. You got to ride it for a short period of time, and then get off and move on to the next. But this is what you learn as you go. The more you do it, the better you get, so forth and so on. So, yeah.
You do spoken word?
Of course I do spoken word.
What kind of question is that?
Right.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. But you also make a business out of this, right?
Yes.
You make a business out of that. So let's talk about that, right? When did you start making poetry a business?
So before we get to that.
Okay.
So I don't remember what year it was, but the first person that told me that I should publish my work ever was my sister. And my sister, I remember sitting in her apartment a couple years ago, and I was typing up poems. I was typing stuff up. And I didn't know she was behind me because my back was to her.
Yeah.
And she was reading while I was writing or typing up. And she said, "You should publish those." And I turned around and I said, "Sis, I don't write for people. I write for God, unto God." And she just left it alone. Now fast forward years later, here I go. I mean, I'm writing for people, writing for God. It's a business, so it's like, hey, I just had to get to a point where I was like, man, I can't. I'm being selfish, and I can't keep this to myself. I don't know what people are going through. I don't know what's going on. So, like, I got this gift. God gave me this gift. God gave me this talent. So I'm just going to put it out there, and we're just going to see what happens. But as I began to learn more about the business side of things, I was like, well, hey, let me make some money out for this wife, But I just got to be real. Everything about even down to my name, the name of the company, it flows from the heart. It all came from God. I didn't think of this on my own. It all came from God. So I'm like, why keep it to myself? You gave me something, it's to help somebody else. It's for a reason. So that's kind of how we got here. I mean, it was still delayed a little bit because I didn't jump on it immediately. But hey, I mean, I actually formed my company in 2023, but I really didn't get started with it actively until late 2024.
That's what's up. Okay.
And since then, we just been rolling.
When did you publish your first work? That's a good point. What you brought up with your sister, that's a good story. When did you publish your first piece of work?
2024.
2024.
2024 is when I published my first work.
Tell us a story about that. Why did you publish that? Why did you, all right, I'm finally gonna publish this? Because I assume she told you to publish this when y'all was children, right? Or when did she tell you?
It was, man. I don't remember the year, but
before, it was prior to 2024.
Man, it was over 10 years ago.
So what was the thing that said, all right, I want to publish this piece?
I had always talked about publishing. I didn't really know what to do or how to do it. And I actually ended up so I was going through something a couple years ago, and I was like looking for some type of encouragement. I just needed some help. So I ended up going to this men's, not a retreat. But
before we go to the men's retreat, what was you going through? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So I was just going through it. It was just a point in time in my life where I was just going through, like, I seemed like nothing was never enough. I didn't have enough money for my bills. I didn't have enough food. I didn't have, even though I was working, but I was like, I didn't have enough. It's like I was always giving. I needed to do stuff. So I'm a father too. So it's like I needed to make sure my kids had stuff. Had to have being stretched in, constantly pouring. But it's like, man, I'm drained, man. I don't have anything for me. But even though I was going through that, oh, hey, you need something? I got you. I later came to learn that, you know what? It's performance-based. I can perform. It doesn't matter how I feel personally. I can perform.
You talking about poetry? You can perform poetry?
No. Just performance in life. See, and that's a little bit something deeper right there.
Yeah,
but you got different type of people that, they'll perform for whatever it is, always showing up, always giving, doing something, regardless of how they feel, performance-based. So that's why I learned later on that's what that was.
Gotcha. That you could show up.
I could show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The public me and the private me was two different people.
Gotcha.
I could show up and perform and nothing never be wrong. That's performance in life, performance for somebody who needed it, performance for my kids, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna show up. But when it came to me, what I was lacking, what I needed for myself, nothing was being poured back into me. I wasn't even pouring back into myself. But like I said, ran up across a men's meeting one night, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I went, just laid back, not really participating, just there. Long story short, the guy who was actually running it was a life coach. He was a life coach. His name is Timothy McLean.
That sounds real familiar. Why Tim McLean sound familiar? He in Huntsville?
He's actually in Huntsville.
That sounds real familiar. Okay, shout out to him.
He's actually in Huntsville, man. He's from Lewisburg, Tennessee.
Okay.
But he's in Huntsville. And so we got to talking afterwards, and him and Mike Storvant. We got to talking, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to publish a book. Long story short, he ended up becoming my life coach. To this day, he's still my life coach.
That's what's up.
And so through working with him, the book came about. I didn't know he had already wrote a book. He's an author. He helped me out, and he was like, do this, da-da-da-da. This is how you can do certain things. And so I ended up self-publishing. So I self-published.
What does that mean? Tell us what that means.
Self-publish just mean you're an independent agent, and you do everything yourself. You haven't signed a contract with anybody. You just do everything yourself.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff I do myself.
Okay.
Okay.
So the self-publishing is like, all right, I got a book and I'm gonna print it up and I'm gonna put it on Amazon myself or something like that. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So when you get exactly, so if all of the royalties, you get all the royalties.
Gotcha.
Now, like if you do like Amazon KDP, they have like a contract where it's 70, 30, 60, 40. There's different types of platforms that you can do it on, but a lot of people are self-publishing now. It's a pros and cons with that because you do keep more royalties as opposed to signing with a literary agent, but it's harder because you got to do all the legwork yourself to get into books, to get into stores, bricks and mortars, and get onto these different websites as opposed to signing with the agent. Then they do all that for you.
Understood.
They do all that. They'll put you in the Barnes and Nobles or the Borders, and they'll put you in different places like that. The Books A Million, they'll put you in front of people. But again, they get a percentage. They're an agent. That's their job.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I was at a point where I was like, look, I can't afford all that.
Right.
I can't afford that.
Understood.
So I just got to do what I got to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put your first putt, you put it out first. Do you remember like the feeling you had when you got that first check? When you got your first hit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I remember I was like, wow, okay. Nice.
Understood.
I was like, nice. I was like, okay then.
Did it come in the mail, or how did you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
what's the story?
We're in 21st century, man. Everything direct deposit.
Right.
I got that statement. I got that email. I was like, oh, okay. You have received a review statement. Nice. All right.
So it's something I can do right here.
That's something I can do.
That's what's up. And you said, my fault, I mean, cut you off. Keep going.
Oh, you good. And
you said you also write poetry for people too, right?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
So I actually started doing that first.
Okay.
So like I've written for college graduations, birthdays, like I said, for homegoing services, for people that, encouragement poems for people. I've written for weddings as gifts. So just all around, birthdays, just a personal poem. It's something different. I always say, man, I'm better than Walmart. I'm better than Hallmark, excuse me.
Right.
Because you get people that go to get a last minute card, Dollar Tree, Walmart, whatever. They get a Hallmark card. 9 times out of 10, 90 days later, what that card at? File 13. Right. It's in the trash.
100%.
What I do is mine is meant to be memorial forever. So I'm gonna take what you give me, or I'm gonna take a special event or moment, and I'm gonna literally condense it into one piece, and you're gonna have that memory forever. Because you got different types of poetry too. I don't do long pieces in general. Most of my pieces are gonna be under a minute, max 2-3 minutes. You got some artists that they do 6-minute poems, and that's cool. But when I'm doing mine, I just like short, 1 page, let's get it done.
Understood.
But I can also do the other as well.
I got you. And I think before you were telling me like you do a discovery call with people, right? Like you do a discovery call where you like talk to them, you sit them down and try to understand what they want, right?
Right.
So let's talk about from an entrepreneurial standpoint, right? The discovery call is a very like pivotal point in the client journey, because now you're understanding what the problem is, right? You're understanding what their problem is and how you can solve it, right? That's my understanding of a discovery call. That's what I use discovery calls for, right?
Right.
And I'm assuming you do the same thing, right?
Right. Some people call them discovery calls, some people call them consultations. Either or, it doesn't matter to me. But I do have a series of questions that I usually ask when I'm dealing with the client, to kind of get an idea, I feel, of what it is, what they want. Because my whole brand is about being personable. So I like to take something personable and I put it in there, which makes it a little different. Whether it be a favorite color or a favorite pastime or a favorite drink or whatever, something that they're known for. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it inside of a nice poem, nice piece, and then we have different ways that we can do it. I can get it to you just straight black and white. I got different options that we can look at.
So how do you discover what they want? Because you say you have a list of questions. Did you start out with that list of questions, or has that kind of transformed over time? Or
that's kind of transformed over time.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, well, if I'm writing for somebody that's graduating, okay, where are you graduating from? What's your degree in? Like that. Of course, I want to know the correct spelling of your name, so forth and so on. Like, what are they graduating? What are they aspiring to be? Give me like a fun memory, a fun fact. I usually will ask more than what I'm gonna put in there, but I always like to have more than not have enough.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And the name piece, like you can't be misspelling nobody's name.
Nah, gotta have that right. That's actually number one.
100%.
That's the first question.
Yeah, for real. Especially if they're gonna memorialize it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They're gonna hold it forever, 100%.
Right. I mean, so my first two questions is correct spelling of the name, and then relationship. If you're with your brother, mother, sister, what's the relationship? Because that matters.
Do you feel like that's a pivotal part of? Again, like I said, the discovery call is important in my business, right? Do you feel like the impact of those, like how do you find your clients? That's really what I'm trying to go to. It's like, how are you finding your customers?
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. Word of mouth. I will advertise on social media or some, but mostly just word of mouth and then from client to client.
Understood.
Just like it, But I'm my biggest brand. I'm my biggest supporter. I'm my biggest mouthpiece.
For sure.
So I'm always letting people know this is what I do. Try me out.
100%.
Yeah, so just word of mouth.
That's what's up. Cool. Let me ask you this question. You said you got an event coming up, right?
Right.
Let's talk about your event.
All right. So we have an event coming up on July 25th. We're calling it a celebration of parents, where we're going to honor all parents and parent figures for helping us become what we are today. So it's going to be on July 25th. We're going to have it in Madison at the New Gooch Place.
Okay. And that, you said it's going to be July 25th. What time is it going to be on July 25th?
So VIP is going to be at 1:30, and then we're going to get the general admission going about 2:15.
Okay. Is this your first time doing this? You've done this like over years.
So this is actually, technically it's the first event.
Okay.
I've done an event before because I have an audio book as well.
Right. Okay.
And so that was an event by itself. I didn't just release it. I had a whole event for that audio book release and everything. So now we celebrating parents and parent figures.
That's what's up. Let me ask you this. One of the biggest problems I think there is with having an event is one, like you talked about, is the visibility piece, right? And how do you make sure that people remember it and that they are trusting and want to come to it? So how do you manage those three things for your event? Because it seemed like it's going to be a beautiful event. We were just talking to the brother outside. He seemed like he was interested in it, right? So How do you market your event? How do you make sure that when they get there, they're going to have a good time and it's memorable and they trust you and want to come to the next one?
So when it comes to the marketing piece, right now it's just been a lot of social media, a lot of word of mouth, a lot of lead work out in the city, out in the community, being visible, putting up flyers, letting people know about it. So from that standpoint, just a lot of lead work that a lot of people usually don't want to do. Yeah. And then we just make it work from there. Now when it comes to being memorable, we're going to see how people like it. I think people are going to enjoy it. You're gonna come forward. But I will tell you this though, I'm an out the box type of person, so that's how this event came about. It's something different. I think it's something that's needed and it's something unique.
Right.
It's something that's never been done before. So this is a first.
Okay.
This is a first. But I'm also about selling an experience. I'm not about no show. If you come to see a show, it's not what you're gonna get. You can get an experience. Gotcha. Everything about it, from the time you pull up to the time you leave, it's going to be a full blown out experience.
Gotcha. How are you going to make it an experience?
Number one, the people going to make the experience.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The community's going to make the experience. That's the biggest factor. That's the biggest piece right there. Okay. It's not about what I'm going to do. It's about what the community's going to do.
Understood. That's what's up. Now, it's going to be a good event. It sounds like it's a good event, bro. Like, it looks like celebrating parents is the first of its kind.
It is the first of its kind because, here's the thing. People don't understand. People don't know that it's actually a national holiday. Yeah, so former President Bill Clinton in 1994, when he signed that crime bill, he also signed this bill into law as well, making it a national holiday. And it's celebrated the fourth Sunday in July every year. National Parents Day. So we're doing it on July 25th, which is the day before, but for National Parents Day weekend. So we're just making a weekend out of it. And we're just going to celebrate those who have poured into us to help us become who we are. So like I said, they can be a mother, father, grandparent, a spiritual parent, mentor, a coach. So that's why we said parent figures.
Right.
So everybody don't have a relationship with their natural parent, blood parent, but they have a godmother or a godparent. So we want everybody to come out. So, and I think one thing that makes this event different than any other is it's not something for just one particular group or type of people. It's for everyone. It's a community. It's a community event. So we want the entire community to come out: Madison, Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, Hartsville, Coleman, Piedmont, Elkmont. We want all of them to come out. So it's we've been promoting everywhere.
You said Coleman.
Come on. Come on. Because here's the thing, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all human.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about it. We're all human, and we all can connect from that standpoint of a parent's love. Either everybody has a parent,
right?
And some of us are parents now. Some of us are grandparents. So from that standpoint, that's one thing we all can connect with, because we all go through the same thing. We all go through that point to where we have kids or grandkids or whatever, and we get, hustle and bustle of the day, going to work, taking to school, going to the football field, going to the court, hustle and bustle of the day. And it's a full-time job that you cannot take a day off from. But how often are parents celebrated, or do we get a thank you?
That's real.
You have Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. You got all these days, and they're all good, but you don't have a day where you just celebrate parents and just thank parents for just being a parent.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wedding anniversaries, that's for a couple for them.
Yeah, right.
Everybody don't have those.
Right.
But you have a parent. And even for those who have transitioned on, we got a special moment, community moment, for those who's transitioned on as well. So we're going to encompass everything.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Man, what you describing, how you describe it, bro, I feel like that's going to be a cold event. It's going to be a good event, right? Because when you first rolled it out to me, when you first told me on the phone, I was like, damn, I never heard of Parents' Day. And the way you broke it down was like, this is something I want to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I definitely think you have a passion for it, and it's clear that you really are like behind it. You know what I mean? It's not just a money play, right?
Right.
It's not. The way you're explaining it doesn't come off like I'm just here to make money. It's actually I'm doing something meaningful.
Oh yeah, this is real.
100%.
This is definitely real.
100%.
So people come out, man. It is a formal event. It's definitely a formal event, because anything that it flows from the heart does. It's going to be classy. Okay. It's going to be classy. It's going to be upscale. So
they got to be suit, tie, jacket, all up.
Nah, because it's going to be hot too. So you ain't got to be suit and tie, jacket up, because it is going to be at an inside venue.
Okay.
It is going to be inside, but come dressed up. You ain't got to wear no suit.
Okay.
But come looking, because we're gonna have a photographer, a videographer gonna be there.
Okay.
We're gonna have food that's gonna be there.
Yeah.
We got a cold sax player that's coming, man. We got a live band that's coming. We got some dope singers that's coming. I'm gonna be doing some spoken word.
Okay.
Man, now we got some 5 vendors. We got some 5 vendors that people are gonna enjoy, they can actually use. So I believe everything is being practical. I don't like putting stuff out there that can't nobody use.
Understood.
So all of our vendors are going to be something that parents can use. Some community resources that's going to be there as well. So it's going to be a dope event as well. So just come out. One thing I forgot to mention is we also have a community impact partner. We have a community impact partner. This year's community impact partner is Real Fathers Making a Difference.
Okay.
So they're a 501c3 organization that's here in Madison County. In Huntsville, and what they do is they cater towards youth, young men, help young men, kind of help them out on their path growing up and what they need to do, kind of mentor them. So just keep them off the streets. So I love what they do. I love what my guy Elsie, what he's doing over there with them guys. So
that's what's up.
How can we have a community event and be something about the community if we're not giving back to the community?
Facts.
So every year we will have a different community impact partner, because it's all about the community, because we need each other.
100%.
We need each other.
Do you feel like, is that the event that you're doing today? You doing that? I think because you were telling me you had an event that you're doing today, right?
No, so the event I'm doing today is not my event. It's just a back-to-school event that they're doing, but I'll be out there just telling people about my event.
Okay, I got
you. But it's not my event. It's just something that, an event that I was told about, and they was like, come on. I got invited to go. So I was like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there.
You're going to be there.
It's community. We're going to be there.
Not for sure. That's what's up. Okay. All right, bro. No, I appreciate that, man. how can people reach you and how can they find out about this event?
So find out about the event of social media on Facebook. Just type in Celebration of Parents. It'll come up. You'll see a flyer that says July 25th. Click that follow button. Follow us because that page is always updated constantly. And then you can also find me, man, on social media. Just type in Cooler the Poet. Not with a C, but with a K. KOOLIDAPOET. You can find me at Cooler the Poet on all social medias, man. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. I just signed on to TikTok. Everybody been telling me for a long time, man, you need to get a TikTok. You need to get a TikTok. And I was like, nah, I don't want no TikTok, man. Because truthfully, I really don't like social media.
Yeah, understood.
I really don't. But it's needed. That's what we got today. So, yeah, that's one. But log on, Celebration of Parents, July 25th, Madison, Alabama, at the New Gooch Place. It's NEWGOOCH Place. The New Gooch Place is where we're going to be at. Go to ticketleap.com. You can search Celebration of Parents, purchase your tickets, or you can also go to Chocolate Rocket City. Go on their page, scroll down on that calendar, July 25th, click on there, and that'll take you directly to the link also. And then too, also, tickets, man, we charge them $50 for VIP, $35 for general admission tickets. So, I mean, you talking about less than a tank of gas.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
Really?
Less than a tank of gas.
I just got $52 in gas last night.
Right. So, hey, come on, we want everybody to come on out, man. Each one, bring one, coming out, enjoy themselves, and I promise you, you're gonna have a real good time.
Can they buy tickets at the door?
That's undecided yet. We haven't really decided on whether or not that's gonna be. Go and get your tickets now. That way you ain't even gotta worry about that. You can just go straight in. Hey, look, I just and I'm gonna tell you, VIP is where you want to be. Okay. VIP is where you want to be. It's limited seating, but they get first dibs on everything. Okay. So VIP is where you want to be at. That's what's up. I mean, up close seating, first through the door. You get your own private serenade. Yeah. So hey, it's gonna be dope. And our title sponsor, if you never heard of Guahana Rum, they're our title sponsor this year as well. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
It sounds like you got a whole team supporting you to make all these moves, bro. That's what's up.
Hey, we just out here trying to do what we're trying to do, man. Just out here trying to make it happen, man. Just want everybody to come out, enjoy themselves, and just relax. And really, we want you to forget about being a parent for a minute. That's what we really want. Okay. Go back to being a kid again and enjoy yourselves. We're gonna have some dancing. We got some line dancing, you know. It's coming through. So I know that's real popular right now. So we're gonna be line dancing, we'll be singing. I just don't want people to come and just sit. I want you to get involved. I want you to sing. I want you to get up. I want you to dance. I want you to move. Move your body. You know, enjoy yourself. Shop. Feel free. Have fun. So come on out. July 25th, Celebration of Parents. VIP is at 1:30. General admission is going to start about 2 o'clock. So go get your tickets right now. You can find them on ticketleap.com, search for Celebration of Parents, or go to chocolaterocketcity.com and get your tickets. So I expect to see everybody in the place on July 25th.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Cool. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you coming through, brother. I appreciate you telling us about all the things you told us about, man, your story of being a poet and telling us about the Celebration of Parents event, man. That's a real big deal. Excuse me. So, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you for having me. Thank you very much.
Of course, man. And you know, I always tell everybody, man, you are a visionary, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you came on this episode, you came on the podcast, you mess with Velvet Visionaires, you are a visionary. So definitely respect you. I want to thank you for sharing your story, sharing your wisdom, sharing your heart with us. We appreciate you for taking the time to pour into our audience, right? That's a big deal, of pouring into our people. And to everyone watching or listening, if this conversation challenged you, encouraged you, or made you think differently, don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs it. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment, follow us for more conversations with entrepreneurs, creators like Cooley, and change makers who are turning vision into reality. Until next time, keep seeing beyond what is, keep building what could be, and keep being a visionary. We'll see you on the next episode of the Velvet Visionaires Podcast.